Welcome and enjoy watching. The Copper family guardians Gail Garcia Bernal and Prisca Vicky Creeps and their children 8-year-old Maddox Alexa Swinton and 6-year-old Trent Nolan River show up at an extravagant retreat for a family getaway. Subsequent time, subsiding into their rooms, Trent gets to know a little fellow named Idlib Kylan Jude, and they do exercises like inquire other hotel benefactors what their names and occupations are, and Idlib shows Trent an extraordinary code to interpret messages. In the interim, Guy and Prisca examine that this is only one final outing they needed to give the children before they separate, which is exacerbated in light of the fact that Prisca is experiencing a stomach cancer. At breakfast, a moderately aged specialist named Charles Rufus Sewell is sitting with his more youthful vain spouse Crystal Abby Lee, girl Cara Kyle Bailey, and his mom Agnes Kathleen Chaffant. Close by, a lady named Patricia Nikia Muka having an epileptic seizure, which Charles assists with while her better half Jarin Ken Leung likewise attempts to help. Trent additionally spots Idlib, as they made arrangements to hang out again that day, yet the retreat administrator Gustav Hammerstein makes him leave the region. The Coppers, in addition to Charles and his family, all board a van that takes them to a confidential oceanside. There, Maddox perceives a rapper, mid-sized sedan and genuine named Brendan Smith Aaron Pierre, who was prior seen with a female buddy who went thin plunging. The children all play together while the grown-ups relax on the sand. The young ladies find old dolls covered in the sand, abandoned by different children. Trent swims by a cavern when he finds the body of Brendan's buddy, clearly having suffocated. The grown-ups inspect the body, while Brendan is experiencing nosebleeds and is similarly shocked at the disclosure. Charles associates Brendan with treachery, however he keeps up with that the lady just took a dip and never returned. Not long later, Agnes starts to miss the mark regarding breath, before she likewise passes on. Jarin and Patricia show up at the ocean side also, however individuals who brought them are as of now gone. The children additionally begin to encounter something strange. Brendan clears up for the grown-ups that the lady he was with had different sclerosis while he has hemophilia, which makes sense of his steady nosebleeds. Jarin and Patricia converse with Trent. Furthermore, Maddox, who have unexpectedly matured up into proved youngsters, Trent currently played by Luca Faustino Rodriguez, Maddox played by Thomasine Mackenzie, alongside Cara presently played by Michaela Fisher. A few endeavours are made to leave the ocean side by going through the stones that nearby off the ocean side from an external perspective. However, every one of the grown-ups that endeavour to go through feel a beating in their minds before they shut down and end up back on the ocean front. They likewise notice strange things. Similar to when Charles assaults Brendan with a blade, the cut imprint recuperates in no time. Not long later, Brendan observes that the dead body of the lady he was with has now completely disintegrated to only bones in no time, making them realise that there is something time-related occurring on the beach. Suddenly, the tumour in Prisca's stomach starts to cause her pain and distress. The adults try to help her, with them feeling around for the tumour at first and describing it as the size of a golf ball. They continue to carry out a procedure to eliminate the growth, which has now developed to the size of a melon. The cut in Prisca's stomach recuperates quickly after the strategy. Trent and Cara age up considerably more into teens youthful. Grown-ups Trent presently played by Alex Wolff, Cara played by Eliza Scanlon. What's more is that Cara has some way or another become 5 months pregnant inside only minutes after clearly having sex with Trent minutes sooner. The grown-ups set themselves up for the birth, which happens rather rapidly. However, the child bites the dust following a moment because of absence of consideration. Different grown-ups begin to give more apparent indications of maturing, yet Crystal takes the interaction a lot harder than others. Charles begins to flip out to schizophrenia, driving him to wound Brendan to death. The others remove his weapon while attempting to think of a substitute arrangement of break. Realizing they can't go through the stones, Jarin endeavours to swim to discover a way. While this occurs, Trent and Maddox go over a journal left by a past guest, with names and ailments down on paper. They additionally notice what resembles individuals somewhere out there noticing them. Maddox converses with Priska about whether she and Guy are separating. Priska concedes that she was seeing another man. Despite the fact that Priska attempts to account for herself, Maddox is furious with her. She goes out to the ocean side and endeavors to areas of strength for find an exit plan herself. However, she tracks down Jaren's body, clearly having gone oblivious and suffocated. After seeing his body, Patricia experiences a lethal seizure. Kara then frantically attempts to discover a way and fires moving up the stones to attempt and come to the top, yet before she can make it sufficiently high, she also passes out and tumbles to her demise, leaving Trent crushed. It is currently evening time. Charles has lost it while Crystal is additionally flying off the handle at her quick maturing and declining actual state. She has grown a calcium bump on her back. Fellow is additionally losing his visual perception, and Priska is observably grayer. Fellow and Priska discuss the other man in Priska's life, with Guy conceding he had some awareness of him and wanted that he accomplished other things too. Keep their marriage working. However, he likewise noticed that the other person is a failure and that she merits somebody better. Charles then begins to go after Guy and Priska, while Trent and Maddox are gone after by Crystal when they attempt to check her out. She follows them into the cave and her body becomes twisted and contorted to horrible angles before she dies there. Priska then slashes Charles with a rusty knife, causing an infection that rapidly spreads through his body and kills him. The coppers then assemble around the pit fire and the ocean side. The now older Guy is struggling with talking and recollecting things, yet he basically confesses to Priska that he actually cherishes her not long before he passes on. Priska then, at that point, remains standing briefly. However, falls and passes on close by while the two children grieve their folks. Toward the beginning of the day, Trent and Maddox are currently in their 50s. Trent played by Eamon Elliott, Maddox played by Embeth Davids. Trent raises a code that Idler gave him, which he unraveled and sorted out signifies my uncle could do without the coral. The kin spot a coral reef close by and understand that it should be out. The two swim out there, yet Maddox's clothing stalls out on the coral. At the point when the two don't re-emerge, Theo, the van driver that carried the families to the ocean side chief M. Night Shyamalan reports to his supervisors from his perception post on a precipice sitting above the ocean side that all individuals from preliminary 73 have died. At the point when Theo drives back to the retreat and to a lab region, it is then uncovered that the hotel is a front for a clinical examination group named Warren and Warren that baits individuals with ailments to the ocean side to perform clinical preliminaries for life-saving medications given to them in the mixed drinks served after showing up. They know that the otherworldly ocean side, perhaps controlled by the mysterious coral, speeds up the maturing system, so they lessen the preliminaries to an entire day for improved results. Except they restored Patricia's epilepsy since she didn't have a seizure for 8 hours, which is identical to around 16 years on the ocean front. The hotel supervisor and others endeavour to poach their most recent casualties until they are come by Trent and Maddox, who figured out how to liberate themselves from the coral. Trent finds a man he addressed when he was as yet a youngster, realizing the man is a cop. He hands the man the diary found on the ocean front, which subtleties the names of many missing individuals and their ailments. Idler emerges and perceives Trent even as a grown-up. Trent and Maddox uncover reality to everybody while all the hotel staff acknowledges they are in a bad way. Specialists come to capture all the hotel representatives, while in the last scene, the official removes Trent and Maddox by helicopter from the island to be with their auntie, who isn't prepared to see that her niece and nephew are completely mature grown-ups.